evening and welcome to our 8th concert of the 2014 season. Just a quick reminder, the St. Genevieve Stompers are selling popcorn for $1, water for $1, chocolate-covered Oreos 2 for $1, and pralines 2 for $1.50. Part of the proceeds will go to the local food pantry, of which I should be getting a total pretty soon. Our first piece tonight is going to be a little different than what the program originally said. Our guest conductor, Mr. Charlie Crothers, would like to perform Armed Forces Salute as arranged by Bob Loden as our first piece in light of the recent plane crashes to feel a little bit of, national pride. It features the official song for each branch of the armed forces. The Cassins go rolling along for the Army, Semper Paratus for the Coast Guard, the Marines hymn, the U.S. Air Force, and Anchors Away for the Navy. If you are a veteran or member of the armed forces, would you please rise so we can honor you? Anybody? Anybody here?
What?
I see 1, 2. Yeah! There you are. Just like to thank you men for all that you do, and I do invite you to please stand when you hear your branch's song during this piece, Armed Forces Salute. Okay, back to our concert order now. Our first selection is going to be the Suite of Old American Dances, which was composed by Robert Russell Bennett in 1950. This suite is an original composition for band in which the composer seeks to set the mood of a Saturday night barn dance with all the gaiety which festivity demands, recalling several of the characteristic dances remembered from childhood. The goal achieved is a genuine piece of music, not a novelty as one might expect from such a setting. Bennett describes the music as Native American dance forms treated in a riot of instrumental colors, and the composition is distinguished by superb effectiveness of instrumental writing and facile flow of musical ideas. The dances include cakewalk, schottische, western one-step, wallflower waltz, and rag. Tonight you will only hear 3 of these famous dances in this arrangement by James Curnow. Please enjoy the selections from Suite of American Dances. songs. This piece includes selections from the Toreador song from Carmen, Vesti la Giva from Pagliacci, the Anvil chorus from Il Trovatore, and the William Tell Overture finale from William Tell. I'll give you some background for each of these pieces. The Toreador song from Carmen is sung by a matador and describes various situations in the bullfighting ring, the cheering of the crowds, and the fame that comes from victory. Vesti la Giva is sung at the end of the first act of Pagliacci, when Canio discovers his wife's infidelity but must nevertheless prepare for his performance as Pagliaccio the clown because the show must go on. The Anvil chorus from Il Trovatore, or the Troubadour, depicts Spanish gypsies striking their anvils at dawn and singing the praises of hard work, good wine, and their gypsy women. Finally, the William Tell Overture is an ultra-dynamic cavalry charge gallop heralded by trumpets. This segment is often used in popular media to denote the galloping horses or heroes riding to the rescue, and it became the Lone Ranger theme music. I hope you enjoy this piece, Band of the Opera. King to the big screen. The Lion King is a heroic coming-of-age story which follows the epic adventures of a young lion cub named Simba in his struggle to accept the responsibilities of adulthood and his destined role as king of the jungle. As a carefree cub, he is both excited and anxious to become king one day. His father, King Mufasa, the revered ruler of Pride Rock and the lands that surround it, teaches him about the circle of life, the delicate balance of nature which binds all animals together. Simba's father cautions him to prepare for the day when he will be called upon to lead, which comes sooner than expected. Some facts about the Lion King you may not have known. When writer Irene Michi was hired, she was told that the story pitch was Bambi in Africa meets Hamlet, so she started calling it Bamlet. Pumbaa has the dubious distinction of being the first Disney character to fart. Adult Simba's mane was supposedly inspired by Bon Jovi's 80s hair. In the I Just Can't Wait to Be King sequence, we see a pyramid of animals, including giant anteaters, which are native to South America and not Africa. While the name of Nala's mother, Serafini, is never mentioned in the film, it is in the credits and was used in trading cards given out at Burger King. The film was titled King of the Jungle until someone realized that lions don't actually live in the jungle. The phrase still showed up on some of the Disney merchandise, though. And to further underscore Scar's villainy, Disney put in subtle and not so subtle Nazi references, including Scar's army goose step and having Scar address his troops from a high ledge, as Hitler would from a balcony. There is also supposedly a swastika pattern on the rocks nearby. And a 2.5-minute wildebeest stampede, one of the only computer animated segments in the film, took more than 2 years to create. The family of the South American native who composed the 1939 song used in The Lion Sleeps Tonight sued Disney in 2004 for $1.6 million in royalties. Disney settled that 2 years later in an undisclosed amount. Tonight's selection, arranged by Paul Lavender, includes This Land, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, and The Circle of Life. Feel free to sing along to your favorites from The Lion King. Amazing Grace was written in late December of 1772 by former slave ship captain John Newton for a New Year's celebration in the Anglican Church of Olney. Newton had a gift for scripture memory until his mother died. It was based on 1 Chronicles 17, "Who am I that thou hast brought me here?" which was the verse brought to mind when Newton reflected upon his life's transformation from slave ship captain to devout Anglican priest. The verses of the song were each based upon different moments in his life. During his slave trade years, Newton was actually enslaved off the coast of Sierra Leone, and his freedom inspired the verse that saved a wretch like me. His ship, the Greyhound, nearly sank on March 21st, 1784. He watched his crewmates get swept overboard and attempted to steer the ship to safety amidst the peril. Newton prayed for God's mercy and captured his gratitude in the line, and grace my fears relieved. Returned from sea at the age of 29, Newton learned Hebrew and Greek, befriended George Whitefield and John Wesley, started preaching, and was eventually ordained an Anglican priest in Olney. He wrote in a journal, "I usually make a hymn weekly, and sometimes it costs me so much thought and study that I hardly do anything else." His letters up to that point were published in a book so popular it went through many editions and was translated into French, German, and Dutch. "Through many dangers, toils, and snares I have already come," summed up his life. Newton renounced slavery and worked to abolish it. He published Thoughts on African Slave Trade 19 years before his death. Upon his deathbed, Newton uttered his famous declaration, "My memory is nearly gone, but I remember 2 things, that I am a great sinner and Christ is my Savior." When brought to America, the tune of Amazing Grace changed. The current tune is either a tune used by slaves in the American South or a tune brought across from Scotland. Amazing Grace has since been sung during momentous occasions in history during which people yearned for hope and salvation. It was sung during the civil rights movements and before Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Dreamed a Dream" speech. It was also sung in South Africa upon Nelson Mandela's freedom from prison, and in Germany when the Berlin Wall fell, as well as after the 9/11 tragedy. I invite you to sing along or hum as we perform Amazing Grace, as arranged by Dan Rager. introduction. However, I'm going to anyway because I'm supposed to. It is popular at birthday parties, weddings, wedding receptions, and any other cheerful events that include music. I'm sure all of you will recognize the chicken dance. The name of the original song, composed by Swiss accordion player Werner Thomas, was the Duck Dance. Since then, the song has been called the Bird Dance, the Little Bird Dance, and the Dance of the Little Birds. Though the tune has been around since the 1950s, the dance wasn't introduced until 1981. During the Tulsa, Oklahoma Oktoberfest, the Heilbronn Band from Germany wanted to demonstrate the dance in costume, but there were no duck costumes available anywhere in Tulsa. At a local television station, however, a chicken costume was available, which was donated for use at the festival, giving the chicken dance its name. Feel free to tap your toes, clap, sing, or even get up and dance along to the chicken dance. Mr. Crothers would like to add that he would be really happy if you would get up and dance. So if we could have some volunteers, hands raised, anybody? Would like to come out and dance, little kids? This is all you. Oh yeah, yeah, come on. Thank you. Except for his hands, but good job. On Broadway was a 1962 collaboration between the familiar songwriting team of Jerry Leiber and Mike Stoller and the also successful team of Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil. As such, it represents an especially distilled example of the Brill Building sound. However, the Brill Building sound actually came from 1650 Broadway as much as it did from 1619 Broadway, the address of the actual Brill Building. Weil and Mann worked out of 1650, Leiber and Stoller worked out of 1619. At this time, Motown was just firing up with its new soul sound. Some suggest that Sam Cooke invented soul music in the 50s, others say Ray Charles. Some say soul didn't come about until later in the 60s with the advent of Otis Redding and Aretha Franklin, and yet others say it started with the Drifters, who were a crossover from doo-wop to R&B, with vocals striking a balance. Their music has a hint of soul, with a large production number, and that intrusive guitar kicking in towards the end gives a nod to rockabilly. On Broadway was one of the last Drifters songs featuring lead singer Rudy Lewis, who replaced Benny King in 1961. Lewis died of a heart attack in 1968. George Benson's cover version was a #7 U.S. hit in 1978. Gary Newman also did a synthesizer-driven cover in 1979. Other artists to cover this song include Neil Young, Frank Sinatra, Tom Jones, Bobby Darin, and Sly and the Family Stone. The song was also used in TV commercials for Radio Free Europe in the early 60s. Please enjoy this instrumental version as arranged by Paul Jennings of On Broadway. Music for a Darkened Theater is a compilation of pieces from film scores by Danny Elfman, a composer known for working with bizarre and sometimes spooky movies. In 1985, Tim Burton and Paul Reubens invited Elfman to write the score for their first feature film, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. In the booklet for the first volume of Music for a Darkened Theater, Elfman described the first time he heard his music played by a full orchestra as one of the most thrilling experiences of his life. Elfman immediately developed a rapport with Burton and went on to score all but 2 of Burton's major studio releases. He also accompanied Tim Burton in the composition of music for Almost Alice, the soundtrack for Alice in Wonderland. Tonight's Music for a Darkened Theater includes the themes from Edward Scissorhands, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Spider-Man, Beetlejuice, and Tales from the Crypt. Please enjoy Music for a Darkened Theater.
On behalf of the Muni Band, I would like to give a donation to Channel 7 for coming out each and every week and recording and showing our performances on Channel 7. So let's give Channel 7 and Don Pritchard a big hand and a thank you.
Once again, thank you for all you do. Our next piece is 76 Trombones. It is the signature song from the musical play, The Music Man, which was written by Meredith Willson. The arrangement we'll hear tonight was composed by Leroy Anderson. In the musical, Professor Harold Hill uses the song 76 Trombones to help the townspeople of the fictional town of River City, Iowa, visualize their children playing in a marching band by hearkening back to a time when he saw several famous band leaders' bands in a combined performance. Whereas an average-sized high school marching band might have about 10 musicians playing trombone, a large college marching band seldom has more than 30 trombones. The band that Harold describes to the villagers includes 76 trombones, 110 cornets, over 1,000 reeds, double-belled euphoniums, and 50 mounted cannon, which were popular in bands of the time. We don't have quite that arrangement here, but I hope you enjoy this piece nonetheless. Here is 76 Trombones. not yet 14, joined the Marines to play in the Marine Band. Discharged in 1875, he returned 5 years later as a civilian to lead the United States Marine Band until 1892. During his tenure in the post, Sousa composed many patriotic marches, including this popular effort, National Fencibles, written in honor of soldiers serving at home in defense of the country, soldiers one might today call the National Guard. The work opens with one of those jaunty, hardly martial-sounding themes that Sousa was so well known for. Not surprisingly, its scoring is colorful, its appeal infectious, conjuring images of parades and festive activities, as well as evoking a vivid sense of Americana. In the second half, Sousa introduces a variant of a mellow, rather subdued character. Soon, however, his writing for the husky helicon, the sousaphone was not yet developed, and percussion give the music oomph and muscularity. The work closed with the proud, colorful statement of the variant, its marching tread, jubilant and triumphant. Please enjoy National Fencibles. final concert of the 2014 2014 season. And thank you, Mr. Carruthers, for guest conducting.
Channel 7 and 98 TV and web broadcasting are made possible through contributions and donations from viewers like you. Thank you for your support.